All right, welcome to the Red Hawk Radio pregame show. I'm Cooper Meneghetti, your host for the pregame. We've got a great game on hand for you today as the Miami RedHawks face the Central Michigan Chippewas here in Millett Hall. So far today, we're underway, and as we look at what's going on here in the MAC play, Miami comes in with a record of 11-1 in the MAC, and Central Michigan, the visitors from Mount Pleasant, come in sitting at 10-3 in MAC play. Miami suffered their first loss last game against the UMass Minutewomen in Amherst. However, they look to get right back on track here in Millett Hall. The RedHawks come in sitting at 20-5 on the season. As we look at what happened in that last game in Amherst, Amber Treader was the leading scorer. She got 20 points, and she finally eclipsed the 1,000th point mark. So congratulations to Treader, as she will be given a Miami ball for 1,000 points here at the beginning, before the festivities get kicked off today. Tamar Singer had 17 points and 4 assists. She did something very uncharacteristic, which was focus on scoring the basketball. We're used to seeing her as one of the people who's climbed up this Miami assist already in her short career. The sophomore decided to make an impact scoring the basketball. Ilse de Vries, the other center for the RedHawks, scored 14 points, grabbing 4 rebounds, shooting 6 of 9 from the field. Amber Scalia, the second leading scorer on this team, went 15 for 16, went 5 for 16, scoring 11 points and grabbing 9 rebounds. The starting 5 for the RedHawks tonight will see Tamar Singer, Amber Treader, Ilse de Vries, Nuria Horho, and Amber Scalia make the start tonight. As we look across the way, the Central Michigan Chippewas come in after getting the win against Western Michigan at home in their last game. Their leading scorer was Maddie Morrison. She's an absolutely dynamic scorer. She scored 25 points in their win over Western, 70-67. In that game, the other scorer for the Chippewas, leading scorer for the Chippewas, was Anna Darrington, scoring 14 points and getting 2 rebounds. We also saw a spirited effort. Oh, sorry. We also saw a spirited effort from Taylor Anderson, as she scored 7 points, grabbed 5, dish out 5 assists, and grabbed 8 rebounds. As we look overall at the team's stats, we've got an interesting matchup on hand. The RedHawks shooting 46% from the field this season, 31% from three-point land, and 92% from the free throw line. As we look at what the Chippewas have been doing, they're shooting 47% from the field, 56% from 3, and 81% from the free throw line. The RedHawks will look to respond from what was a heartbreaking loss at UMass. They lost the game on a game-winning layup with 4 seconds left to go, folks. That just rips your heart out as the RedHawks look to respond and keep their defense of Millett Hall alive. They've been very successful at home this season. These two teams have met earlier this season. The last meeting, we saw the RedHawks win 69-66. This was actually last year. Sorry about that. But overall in the series, it's 41-35 in favor of the Chippewas. For Central Michigan, we look at the starters. It will be Anderson, Morrison, Darrington, Pruitt, and Turnbull. So let's take a look at the matchups here on the court that we expect tonight. Miami looks to regain what could be the top record in the MAC. They are hunting down Ball State, who currently sits at 12-1. The RedHawks sit at 11-1 in the conference, and a win tonight would put them on level ground with the Cardinals. So as we look at the keys to the game for Central Michigan, I think unequivocally their leading scorer, Maddie Morrison, is going to be the main threat tonight. She's averaging 20 points this season, which is just a really difficult thing to do in basketball, average 20 points. But she is the team's leading scorer. She's the leading scorer in the MAC in terms of scoring average per game. She's got both a lethal three-point shot plus an ability to get to the free throw line, which is just presents an all-around defensive nightmare that Miami is going to have to be strong to counter today. Looking at some other film of the Chippewas, they like to press, they like to play defense and get up on you really early in the possession. Expect to see a spirited defensive effort from Central Michigan. Another one of Central Michigan's key players is, of course, their other center, Anna Darrington, who's averaging 14.8 points per game coming into the contest. She has the best shooting percentage on the team, and she's a dominant force inside the paint. It's going to require some strong interior defense from this RedHawk team in order to combat these two leading scorers for the Chippewas. Central Michigan really only runs their offense through these two players, Darrington and Morrison, so expect at halftime and in the postgame us to be talking about their work in the game, because that is what features so prominently in that Central Michigan offense. For Miami, with the responsibility of guarding a big forward like Darrington, that will be the task of Amber Treader and Ilse DeVries, the two fantastic forwards for this RedHawk basketball team. Ilse DeVries is a tremendous defensive player, leading the team in blocks. However, on the offensive end, she's also a dynamic scorer. She sits currently in third in total in the average points for the RedHawks, averaging 13.1 points per game. So her scoring will be critical, as the RedHawks really have quite a balanced offensive attack. And the other player tasked with stopping Darrington tonight will be Amber Treader. Treader comes into the game averaging 14 points per game, or 14.8 points per game for Miami. As we look at what the RedHawks are going to have to do, a lot of that is going to come down to those battles inside. We know the RedHawks like to play with a spread offense. They spread the ball out. But I think if you look at the way this matchup is going to go, Central Michigan, they like to pass, get the ball inside, and score from close range. It's going to be critical for the RedHawks to stop Central Michigan inside and also to establish a level of physicality inside on offense as well. As we talked about, a spread offense that Miami plays, you really spread your players out around the three-point line. That gives you lots of options, especially shooting from deep. Amber Scalia is one of the best options in the MAC when it comes to shooting from deep. Scalia leads the team in three-point field goals made with 51 on the season. Scalia also averages the second most points for any RedHawk with 14. There's a lot of crafty shooters out there for Miami. Pretty much everyone can punish the defense on any given day. Nuria Horho is a perfect example of that. She is a great three-point weapon to have for Miami. She shoots the three at a 41% clip, That's the best on the team, folks. Central Michigan is going to have to limit her shots from deep. In addition to her three-point shooting, she also is a tremendous pickpocket on the defensive end. She can, her steals are going to be another one of these ways that the RedHawks can stop this Central Michigan attack. And of course, that brings us to Maddie Morrison, the leading scorer for the Chippewas, one of their best players, arguably the best player in the MAC at this point through the season. What do you do to stop Maddie Morrison, who's averaging 20 points per game? Well, that's going to require some great defense from players like Tamar Singer. She's the steals leader on this team and one of the best at taking the ball away in the Mid-American Conference. Tamar Singer is going to be instrumental in getting that first stop on Maddie Morrison. Other players we'll see trying to be tasked with guarding Maddie Morrison are the aforementioned Noria Horho, Amber Scalia. You look, those three guards, we're going to see a lot of switching because they like to do a lot of pick and rolls, Central Michigan. So expect the RedHawks to try to challenge Maddie Morrison with a variety of defenders here tonight. Miami, when you run a spread offense like the RedHawks do, what you do is you end up sacrificing a lot of rebounds. However, Amber Treader is one of the best rebounding center forwards in the country. She comes in averaging 8 rebounds per game. When she's on her game, she's a double-double machine. Expect to hear a lot of her name called for the RedHawks. Now, as we look, who's going to facilitate that offense for Miami today? Expect Tamar Singer, the team's leading assister, to play a big role. She can shoot the three. She can steal the ball. She's really what exemplifies a do-it-all point guard. If you're looking for another star on this Miami team, Tamar Singer is definitely someone you're going to want to be locked in on throughout the game. We'll hear her name a lot as the primary facilitator on that offense. Another player we should feature here on the broadcast is Ilse de Vries. Ilse de Vries, not only is she good inside as a forward, she can back the opposition down, good inside. She's also a tremendous cutter. She knows how to get the ball to the cup and gets her shot off as well as just about anyone in the Mid-American Conference. She's got a deep bag of crafty spin moves, and also watch out for her on the pick and pop game when it comes to shooting behind the arc. Ilse de Vries is one of the best in the MAC. She can punish you in a variety of ways. Her scoring is always critical to the RedHawk offense as well as her defense. And of course, the aforementioned Amber Treader is a tremendous rebounder as well as a scorer. She shoots the three well. There's not much that she doesn't do well. If you want to foul her to keep her from getting those easy inside points or limit her shooting from outside, she'll punish you from the free throw line. All around, Amber Treader, one of the best players in the MAC. This is really a tremendous three-headed monster for the RedHawks. They bring a lot of skill to their top three players. Now, as we look at who's in the starting lineup as well, with those three that we just mentioned, Amber Scalia is a dominant three-point shooter. She can get to the line. In an offense that requires so much cutting and passing and dribbling, having a scorer like Amber Scalia, who is more than just a three-point shooter, is so valuable because this RedHawk offense can really attack you in a variety of ways. Central Michigan, they're going to have to be ready defensively if they want to slow down Miami tonight. As we look around at the MAC standings, we'll see Ball State on top. I see Ball State on top. Miami is in second. And Central Michigan hanging out towards that third spot with that 10-3 record. Miami looks to right the ship here in Oxford tonight. We'll see what they can do against this Central Michigan team. As we look at other games around the MAC right now, Ball State, they're beating Buffalo on the road. Ohio is losing to Akron right now. In Akron, we'll see Western Michigan play Bowling Green. NIU play Kent State. Obviously our game here, Central Michigan and Miami. And those are your women's basketball around the conference games today here on Wednesday. As we'll take you through the MAC standings. Ball State 12-1 in the conference. Miami 11-1. UMass sits at 10-2. Central Michigan 10-3. Ohio 9-4. Toledo 7-5, and Kent State at 5-7. Bowling Green also sits at 5-8. That's kind of your top 8 that we can expect to see in Cleveland for the MAC championship as we start to slowly begin that approach to March. So here, again, we'll emphasize, who do you have to stop? You got to stop Maddie Morrison of Central Michigan. She's one of the best scorers in this conference. You cannot reiterate this again. You always have to keep somebody on her in order to prevent her from really doing a lot of damage. The good news for Miami, if you can find a way to mitigate Maddie Morrison and Anna Darrington on the offensive end, that's a pretty successful recipe because we haven't seen a lot of other Central Michigan players step up this season. If you can do that, if you can limit the impact that Morrison and Darrington have, that is a recipe for success for the RedHawks. If we look on the offensive end, obviously it'll be all about getting your two forwards going in DeVries and Shredder. When they're both on in combination, they are one of the best duos in the country. Obviously facilitating that will be Tamar Singer. So what will Miami's offense most likely look like? We're going to see we're going to hear a lot of players spread out around the arc, ready to pass, cut, and score in whatever way the Central Michigan defense lets them. They like to score early in the possession. You often find a lot of shots open early, especially in transition. And when they need to, eat some clock, slow the game down. This Miami team can be very dominant, controlling the pace. Central Michigan plays a lot of woman-to-woman defense, so expect to hear a lot of picks, a lot of motion from this Miami offense in order to get shots around the arc and at the basket. If we look at sort of what went wrong in the last game against UMass, that Miami can try to improve. You limit one of your big-time players in minutes, Nuria Horho. She had 4 fouls throughout the game, wasn't able to get on the score sheet. If she can get her shots, make her plays, and you talk about the other players on this team who can get hot from beyond the arc, who can get hot inside. If you can really start to improve everyone's game, spreading out the basketball, this will be a recipe for success for Miami, getting a lot of scores involved. Another thing, battling for rebounds. Central Michigan not particularly overwhelming team as far as rebounds. Expect for Miami, you should be able to grab the boards, control possession, especially defensively. Limiting Central Michigan's offensive possessions is going to be a key tonight. As we watch inside, we should see Taylor Anderson battling against Amber Tretter for a lot of those rebounds. And we'll expect to see Darrington go up against DeVries on the other side of the block. So again, before the game, we got a lot of pregame festivities we'll see here in Oxford. Amber Tretter will be presented with a special game ball for her 1,000th point she scored in the loss at UMass. And of course, President Crawford's here. He is distributing pizzas to the student section as part of some celebration and festivities here in Millett Hall today. Author Will Haygood is also here. Last night he was here for a book, to start his book tour. He will be in attendance with President Crawford, I suppose as a guest of honor here tonight. So we will have a lot of pregame festivities before we get tipped off. That's what we hear over here on RedHawk Radio. But of course, once those festivities are over, we will get you Miami RedHawk women's basketball here from Millett Hall as the 20-5 Miami RedHawks come in today against the Central Michigan Chippewas, who sit at 10-3 in conference play with an overall record successful record in MAC play. So for Central Michigan, we look at the scoring leaders. Again, Maddie Morrison, one of the best in the country. She's averaging 20.1 points per game. You got Darrington averaging 14.8. And then Niku Mitchell, who's averaging 7.3 points per game. For Miami, it's Tretter with 14.8, Scalia with 14 even, and DeVries with 13.1. We'll see a bulk of the scoring from those six ladies here tonight in Millett Hall. We look at who's going to clean up the glass. Amber Tretter averaging 8 rebounds a game, DeVries with 4.6, and Horho with 4.1. We'll see them doing a lot of the rebounding work for Miami. Anderson, Darrington, and Chevry for Central Michigan will be their rebounders. Tamar Singer, Amber Scalia, and Nuria Horho will be the primary facilitators here tonight for Miami. Anderson, Chevry, and Mitchell for Central Michigan will be doing a bulk of the distribution on the offensive end for the Chippewas. That'll be it for me. We'll see you'll hear the rest of the broadcast here live on RedHawk Radio. You'll hear again from me at halftime and in the postgame.
Good evening and welcome inside Millett Hall for a highly anticipated MAC matchup between two of the top teams in the conference, between the Miami RedHawks and the Central Michigan Chippewas in tonight's women's basketball matchup. Andrew Relvas alongside Jake Zirolli, and Jake, the RedHawks are trying to avenge a heartbreaking loss in Amherst on Saturday against the UMass Minutewomen, a loss of 65-64.
It really was. That was a tough one. Even though it was played on Valentine's Day, there was no love for the RedHawks in Amherst that day. Of course, the program itself got its name back last night with the Miami men's win out there in Amherst, but a tough loss for the women out there. A last-second layup with just 4 seconds to go to lose it at the end. A few sloppy plays down the stretch, a few unnecessary fouls, things like that just led to that game being closer than it ever should have been. It was a defensive slog the whole game. But both teams played really solid. Just Miami couldn't quite close it out. They lose their perfect mark in the MAC and actually slip, to second place in the MAC, falling behind Ball State. But with a game in hand, Miami can reclaim their crown at the top of the MAC with a win tonight. But this is going to be a good game. These are two of the best offensive teams in the conference, led by two of the most prolific scorers in the conference, Maddie Morrison and Amber Treader. So this is going to be a real good matchup tonight, folks.
We'll pause for the national anthem and be back in a moment here inside Millett Hall. Back inside Millett Hall for a great matchup between two of the top teams in the conference, Central Michigan and Miami. First for the Central Michigan Chippewas, coming in with a record of 16-8. They're 10-3, fourth in the MAC, and they've won back-to-back games, most recently knocking off Western Michigan 70-67 on Saturday. And the starters tonight for the Central Michigan Chippewas, it's Maddie Morrison, Ayani Sarai Darrington, Taylor Anderson, Demetria Pruitt, and Lila Turnball. And meanwhile, for the Miami RedHawks, a record of 20-5, 11-1 in the MAC. That is second behind Ball State. They lost their last game to UMass. The starters, same as we've seen all year long: Amber Treader, Amber Scalia, Ilsa DeFries, Tamar Singer, and Nuria Herho. And Jake, in the last game, the RedHawks kind of really hit a wall, to say, for UMass. I mean, they were playing in a hostile area. Just nothing was going right for them, especially at the end. They had the lead, but it let up, and, you know, you were bound to lose at some point, but just a tough loss to take against the UMass Minutewoman.
Absolutely. In what is best described, as you said, as a tough environment. Just a tough day out for the girls that day. But I remember I was on Valentine's Day. I was hanging out with some of my friends. I checked the score on my phone, and it is way lower scoring than I ever thought it would, especially for a team like this one, which is averaging 71.3 points per game. 4th in the MAC and is shooting 45.6% from the field, good for 2nd in the MAC. I checked my phone, it's 8-7 after the first quarter. They, even just from the go, they were a little flat offensively. I'm sure that's something that head coach Glenn Box was drilling home. You can't get flat, because when you get flat, teams are going to pounce. Miami's got a big target on their backs, being undefeated up until that point, now still undefeated here inside of Millett Hall. The Chippewas certainly looking to come and put another scratch on their record. But I'm sure that is something that Coach Box is going to tell his players. You cannot come out flat. You have to come out and punch these Chippewas in the mouth, because if they're able to do that and turn this game into a bit of a track race, I don't think they come out on the losing end.
The RedHawks as a team average 71 points a game. That's 4th in the MAC, but they're facing off against another good offense. Central Michigan, 72 points a game, 3rd in the MAC. So these two offenses, like the years that they've been having, just off to a really good start. And we'll see if the RedHawks can stifle this hot Central Michigan offense. It was announced a couple minutes ago that Amber Treader joined the 1,000-point club. So Treader, along with Tamar Singer, setting records, as Singer set the assist record a couple games ago. But everyone, especially the starters for the RedHawks, having career years, and they're hoping to continue it here tonight inside Millett Hall, as the RedHawks will look to make it 11 straight wins here inside Millett Hall tonight.
They really are in a historically great year, not just with how well they're playing, being 20-5, but even if you look at the statistics, how well they're shooting, how many three-point shots they're making. This is a team that has reached heights that no Miami women's basketball team has ever before. They look destined to not only go to March, but make a run deep into it, potentially even into April. We don't know. We'll see. But this team is primed for success come March. I think anyone who watches them can see that. They're just so multifaceted. As we said, Treader being an 1,000-point scorer, Tamar Singer setting an assist record. So we see this, the scoring side of it from Treader, but also the facilitation side from Singer. Singer being one of the best passers I have ever seen in my 18 years of watching basketball. This is a record-setting year, and it's only fitting that a few individual players get their own records as well.
The officials tonight, it's Doug Knight, Rachel Wood, and Justin Pollock, as the Miami RedHawks have taken the court. The RedHawks are wearing their home whites with Miami script and the white and red shorts. Meanwhile, Central Michigan, the Chippewas, come out of the court. They're wearing the maroon and gold jerseys with gold stripes on the sides, and we are all set to go. Ilsa DeFries and Ayani Sarai Darrington meet in the middle, as Doug Knight gives a couple of words before we set things off here. Another really good matchup on this Miami RedHawks schedule in the 2025-26 season. The tip is up. It's won by the Chippewas, and they will take it from right to left. Lila Turnball now gives over to Maddie Morrison, the #1 scorer in the MAC. Morrison knifing inside, the kick out in the corner. This is Demetria Pruitt. Pruitt spinning inside, goes out on the right side, and Taylor Anderson ran into a wall. That was Ilsa DeFries. They're going to call a blocking foul, and the clock will stop at 9:40.
Kind of hard to see down there as President Crawford is standing right in our line of sight. But good offensive movement there from the Chippewas early. Morrison, as we said, knifing inside there, getting that kick back to Turnbull. See some three-point shots on that wing.
Turnball on the inbound. They kick out on the wing. This is Taylor Anderson on the right side, looking for Maddie Morrison up the lane, but it was tipped out of bounds off of Nuria Herho, who has been a pest defensively. Really good defender for the RedHawks.
Absolutely has. Had a down offensive game last time out in 34 minutes, just 1 rebound and assist, but on the defensive side, very solid.
Far sideline, straightaway three-pointer from Turnball, hit back heel, and the RedHawks get an opening stop. They look to strike first as Tamar Singer races quickly on the right timeline, and they cycle it on the right wing to Nuria Herho. Up to Treader, over to Scalia. Scalia going inside, now backpedaling. Her mid-range jumper is good, and the RedHawks lead 2-0 here in the first.
It's a great screen up there from Treader after the give to Scalia. Looked like she was trying to complete the give and go, but was able, Scalia with the step back.
They're going to call foul as Turnball was racing inside near the baseline on Tamar Singer. That jumper from Scalia right in her real estate just outside of the free throw line. So 2 quick fouls on Miami as there's 9 minutes left to go here in the first. On the baseline again, turn ball, goes over up top. Back on the top of the key. On the right side, here's Taylor Anderson searching for open bodies, gives close to Demetria Pruitt, and Pruitt knifes inside, gets the layup off the rim and in, and we're tied 2-2. RedHawks work it quickly again. Dangerous pass from Scalia. They kick in the corner. DeFries for three. Rolled off, no good, and the rebound goes back to the Chippewas. Chippewas, a great defensive rebounding team, especially on the offensive side. And they force another stop. Maddie Morrison bouncer on the right side to Darrington. Darrington nodding a mask. And we've got to travel the other way. Travel on Lila Turnball as she took one too many steps on the far elbow.
It's almost a black soccer goalie style mask. Wonder what the cause for that is.
Back to the RedHawks, tied 2-2. 8:15 left to go here in the first. Herho just outside of the three-point line. Over to Singer. Inside Treader with three Chippewas right in her face. Kick out Singer. Going inside. In the corner, DeFries for three. It's good. The RedHawks get their first three-pointer of the game. DeFries in the near side corner. And it's 5-2 Miami here in the first. DeFries has developed her three-point shot after kind of struggling from deep last year. She's one of the top MAC three-point shooters. In the corner, this is Lila Turnball. Hounded by Singer, gives close to Morrison. Defended against by Herho. Morrison in the corner, goes over Anderson. Near corner three-pointer, that's off. But a rebound finds the way to Turnball, and they'll reset the possession. Inside, here's Anderson, layup, no good. Great interior defense by the RedHawks, and they force another stop. In the corner, Herho for three. They're going to call a charge, however, on the RedHawks, and this will give it back to the Chippewas.
Tamar Singer going in with a bit of a head of steam. To be perfectly fair, looked like Maddie Morrison went down a little easy for me there, being 4 inches taller than Singer. Not sure that might have been all real, maybe a little bit of acting there, but just enough for the referees to let it go. Goes down the other end.
RedHawks sub in Sacano and Planella. And just like that, Singer has 2 fouls, so got to keep an eye on that. Up top here is Rylan Bushel. Taylor Anderson on the right wing. Dangerous pass, and we got another foul in Miami. This is going to be 2 fouls on DeFries. So 2 on DeFries and 2 on Singer in the first 3 minutes. Not a good start for the RedHawks.
Central Michigan, not the best free throw shooting team. 69.1% on the season, good for 8th in the conference. But still, all these fouls early on starters is not a good look.
Bushel on the baseline. Finds a wide open cutting Demetria Pruitt inside the paint, and CMU trails by 1, 5-4 here in the first. Gonzalez Planella inside, goes in the corner. Sacano for three on the near side, no good, a little bit short, and the rebound is fought for and won by Anderson. Back to the Chippewas, who worked it quickly but slow it up a little bit. Maddie Morrison hounded against by Planella. Gives up top, Taylor Anderson. Anderson cycling over on the far elbow. Now take it herself. Lefty layup inside the heart of this RedHawks defense. It's good. And CMU leads once again 6-5 here in the first. 6 minutes left to go. Back and forth we go inside Millett Hall. Here's Macy Taylor, the former Wright State Raider. Layup is a little bit short. Great defense by Pruitt. The RedHawks reset up top. Scalia inside the free throw line, goes in the corner. Treader for three, short again. And it's back to Taylor Anderson and the Chippewas.
End to end here. Something's got to give.
Anderson going left, going right. Now we'll take it on the near elbow. Back up top to Rylan Bushel. Bushel, the freshman, going against Taylor. Down low, this is Anderson, or rather Darrington. Her layup was partially blocked, and the RedHawks are off to the races. Scally on the right wing, gives up top. Treader back to Scally on the near wing. Step back three-pointer. Scalia short again. The RedHawks are not finding their stride from three here, but the ball was last touched off of a Chippewa, and it'll stay with Miami here with 5:25 left to go here in the first.
And that is a great play by Amber Treader. That rebound, long rebound into the far corner, hustled over there, got to it first, threw it off of a Chippewa, and kept it on this end. Really nice play on both ends there, fighting for the rebound against Darrington, and then making that really smart, I suppose, defensive play on the other end to keep possession with Miami.
RedHawks have been scoreless for the past 2.5 minutes, and they're trying to find a strike here. On the inbound, Herho finds Sakano on the wing. Now goes inside the free throw line on the far side. No good, her layup, and it's back to the Chippewas.
Some contact down there. Glenn Bach's not happy.
Anderson gives up top. Here's Bushel, blocked by Treader, and Bushel grabs the rebound and cycles back up top. Bushel will bounce her down low, has Johnson, now gives over to Anderson. Anderson inside, they're gonna call a charge on Central Michigan, and they'll give it right back to Miami. And now we've reached a media timeout, so faster type of game that we've been accustomed to seeing inside Millett Hall, and we'll take a break. The Central Michigan Chippewas lead 6-5 here in the first, and we'll be back in a moment here on Red Hawk Radio. Back inside Millett Hall, a slow start offensively, but the RedHawks are looking to take it up a notch. Moving from left to right, it's Sakano, defended by Rylan Bushel, and she gets it across the timeline. Sakano searching for options. Ball was tipped, but she gets it right back, and this is going to be a double dribble. Careless turnover there for Sakano, and it is back to Central Michigan.
Bit of an odd five out there for the RedHawks. Sakano, Gonzalez, Ashton Ely, Horho, and Shredder.
Already 4 fouls in total, 2 on DeFries and 2 on Singer, and this one is going right back to the RedHawks as Bushel tried to put up a shot, but it was off of her on the baseline, and the RedHawks will reset offensively.
Went right into Treader down there and found that out the hard way that you're not going to win that battle.
Miami has been scoreless for about 3.5 minutes.
There hasn't been a point for the last minute 45.
Defense has ticked up a notch here inside Millett Hall. It's Amber Treader up top, gives close to Scalia, top of the key, searching for open RedHawks. Goes on the right side, Nuria Herho inside the free throw line, bouncer down low, beautiful feed to a running Scalia. Treader grabs the miss, puts up a shot. She was fouled, and she will go to the line.
Really nice work there from Treader. Actually got the rebound on Scalia's miss, put one up of her own. That one didn't fall, got that rebound, and then the shot she put up, she got fouled on. So really great hustle down there from Treader, sticking to that. Hopefully she can go to the line, cash in these 2 free throws. Solid free throw shooter, 77.3%. Good for 5th on the team. Looking to cash these 2 in here.
She's 10th in the MAC in free throw percentage, and she makes the first one. See, Emma Van Timmeren is in as well. Coach Box using everyone available early in this one.
That's what early foul trouble we do. You got to cycle out.
Second free throw from Treader. It rolls off no good, and we will stay at 6-6. Back to the Chippewas, led by Christian Haney in her 3rd year. Has really brought this Central Michigan team up. They've improved every single year under her watch. Rylan Bushel, bouncer down low inside, searching for Darrington, double team. Beautiful pass inside to Bushel. Eventually finds the way back to Pruitt, and it's back up top to CMU. On the right wing, Bushel for 3, no good, and Treader grabs the miss. Nice defense by the RedHawks. They'll look to turn that into offense. Herho over to Planella. Had Van Timmeren for a moment, but she goes on the right wing herself. Scalia up top. Scalia will take it all the way herself to the cup. Righty layup, no good, and we got a foul on the floor. Incidental one from Van Timmeren, but the foul will be against the RedHawks, and that'll put CMU to the line on the rest of this quarter.
Van Timmeren not happy. She's asking for that same thing we saw. That cut down there inside, wanted it down there. She had the size advantage. Did not get the look that she wanted. Now heads to the bench in exchange for Ashton Ely, the UAB transfer.
And this is Jada Mosley who drew the foul. Mosley, 18 minutes in the last game against Western Michigan. Averages 5, 2, and 1, and she hasn't really had a ton of free throw opportunities. So we'll see what she can do here. First one is good, and the score is 7-6 CMU over Miami.
Actually, of her limited free throw shots, she's perfect from the free throw line and will remain so as she makes the second.
And the score is 6-8. So the RedHawks trailing by 2, and you know, like so many games, we've seen so many slow starts from the RedHawks, but like always, they always seem to find an answer to some early struggles. We'll see if that stays true here. Herho driving inside, lefty layup, off the rim and in. It's good, and we're tied again, 8-8 here in the first.
Can't argue with that. Really nice take from Herho, that left-handed scoop.
RedHawks force a turnover from Planella. Herho has it, off to the races, lefty layup from Planella, no good, and it's back to the Chippewas. Maddie Morrison, no points for her tonight, and she took a hard foul as she was driving to the cup. Glenn Box not happy about that at all, and it'll be 2 free throws for the top scorer in the MAC in Maddie Morrison.
Morrison, one of the most prolific scorers, obviously the best in the MAC, but one of the best in the nation, averaging 20.1 points per game on 46% shooting. From the free throw line, second best on the team, 84%.
And here's the first free throw from Morrison. That's offline. She was the MAC Freshman of the Year last year, second team All-MAC player, and she was projected as a preseason All-MAC first team player. Second free throw to give CMU the lead, and she does just that. It's 9-8 here in the first. Morrison splits the trip. RedHawks trailing by 1. Amber Scalia trotting across the timeline, gives over to Herho on the right wing. Herho looking for a screen from Treader. She gets it on the left side. Herho dancing with Anderson. Bouncer down low on the baseline. Treader puts up a wild shot, drew some contact, and she'll go back to the line. Nice feed from Herho, who's a great distributor. And the RedHawks will get 2 more free throws coming up.
Shredder down there working on Ayana Sarai Darrington, who not only has the black mask on her face, also wearing what looks to be a sizable knee brace on her left knee. So Darrington may be a little banged up, but she's been moving around the paint pretty well so far. Kept Shredder somewhat quiet.
And Shredder misses the first free throw. Shredder in our last game, she was 6 of 7 from the free throw line in a 20-point effort. She scored in double figures in 19 of 20 games. This is the second, and it stays 8-9, so an uncharacteristic empty trip there for Amber Shredder. Planella almost got the steal as Turnball keeps it alive. Maddie Morrison defended by Planella on the right wing, just outside of it. Dances with Planella, race to the cup, lefty layup, no good for Morrison. Grabs her own miss. 3 RedHawks are there, hounding her. We've got a jump ball, and it'll go back to the RedHawks. So a great heads-up defensive adjustment there by the RedHawks. The Bigs swarm Morrison, and they force the turnover.
Those 2 missed free throws from Shredder. Very uncharacteristic. She's normally been one of the most composed, not just free throw shooters, but players on this team. So even she's feeling the effects of this flat start.
Scalia on the right side, Herho straightaway three-pointer. Scalia rims off, no good, and the rebound is skied by Darrington, one of the best rebounders in the MAC. On the right side, Bushel, top of the key, has Ely away from her. In the corner, this is Turnball driving inside against Planella. Up top, this is Demetria Pruitt inside the free throw line. Righty layup, no good. Their miss swirls around, and they're going to say off of Shredder, so it'll stay with Central Michigan.
Even though that layup might not have fallen, still a great take down there from Demetria Pruitt. Chippewa bench was up and ready to go. Had that one fallen, a spinning right-handed scoop, that would have been a really, really nice layup had it fallen, but staying with Chippewas anyway. Fresh shot clock as well.
Van Timmeren comes in for Miami, and it is Bushel on the inbound. On the first M of Miami, gives close to Turnball. Near elbow jumper, missed everything, and it's back to the RedHawks. Scalia over to Herho, left wing, goes down low. This is Van Timmeren. Van Timmeren against Darrington. Her righty layup was too far, and the Chippewas force another miss. RedHawks have been scoreless for the past 2 minutes, so another dry spell. Bouncer down low. Darrington 1-on-2, no good, but she draws the foul. That's the 7th personal foul on Miami in this quarter. And we're not done yet. Foul on Shredder.
It's been a sloppy game. This team normally very disciplined. Not just on the offensive end, but the defensive end as well. They're giving away some sloppy fouls. Fouls don't need to happen. Of course, free throw shooting, CMU 3 of 4 from the line, but still not ideal.
And Darrington makes the first one. Ayana Sarai Darrington, second-year player at Central Michigan, had a season-high 27 points and 21 rebounds against Ohio. That was an amazing performance earlier in the season. Second free throw is good, and Central Michigan leads by 3. A minute left to go. Miami searching for answers. Pass nearly intercepted, but Ely recovers the possession on the ground. On the far elbow, Scalia up top, Ashton Ely goes on the right wing. This is Planella spinning around, searching for open bodies, and the RedHawks turn it over again, searching for Shredder, but just goes out of her reach, and it's back to the Chippewas, who have forced 3 turnovers in this first quarter, but it feels like a lot more.
Gunbox looking to his bench for help. Just brought in Mio Sakano, presumably for the last 40 seconds this quarter. Also, Macy Taylor coming in for Scalia, so your updated 5. Still making some changes. It's going to be Sakano, Gonzalez, Van Timmeren, Taylor, and Shredder.
3-point lead for the Chippewas, but they can make it more with a positive possession. Up top, this is Jada Mosley. Mosley defended by Sakano, 30-on-30. Over to Demetria Pruitt on the near elbow. Pass inside, nearly deflected. eventually finds the way of Darrington. Her layup's good, and Central Michigan leads by 5. 15 seconds left to go. The Redhawks got to work it quick here. Sakano on the left side up top. Amber Treader, she'll take it herself. Now feed up top. Planella straightaway three-pointer. No good off the left side. Loose ball on the baseline. Off of the face of Van Timmeren. And that will end the first quarter in a sloppy way for the Redhawks. They only score 8 points. Very similar to that first quarter against UMass. And the Redhawks will end the first quarter trailing by 5. That's going to do it for us. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to Miami Women's Basketball on Red Hawk Radio. Ten minutes have passed, and the Redhawks trail by 5. Only 8 points scored in the first quarter, and Miami will look to get this team back on track. Central Michigan has it moving from right to left. It's Demetria Pruitt all alone searching for open bodies. Gives over close to Ryland Bushel, who drives inside. Over to Jada Mosley, and the pass is intercepted midair by Herho. Off to the races. Here's Tamar Singer on the right wing. Feeds down low. Amber Treader one-on-one. She wins the battle off the rim and in. And the Redhawks get the first points here in the second quarter. It's 13-10 here in the second.
Immediately setting the tone with a steal at one end and a layup on the other.
Up top here is Darrington. Free throw spinner, no good. And DeFries skies in for the board. Back to the Redhawks. Great start. We'll see if they can continue it. Macy Taylor on the far corner. Goes around a screen from Treader. Up top and back over to Singer. Singer sprinting inside, gives up top. Treader on the right wing. Nuria Herho, shot clock at 10. The Redhawks will cycle it around in the corner on the far side. Now they bounce it over near corner. Herho for 3. It's good. Much needed offense for the Redhawks, and we are tied here in the second. 13s.
That's all it takes, a quick run. Herho, the best three-point shooter on the team at 41%.
5-0 run by Miami. Darrington lost the ball, taken away by Taylor, and here come the racing Redhawks. On the right wing, Gives up top Singer over to DeFreeze, back to Singer playing hot potato as Singer goes back to the half-court line. Waving off a couple of RedHawks. Shot clock at 12. Ilse DeFreeze lost the basketball, kept in bounds though by Treader, and the RedHawks have it with 7 left to go. Got to work quickly here. Free throw jumper for Herho, and she gets the friendly roll. Took about 5 bounces before it finally bottomed in. That's a 7-0 run by the RedHawks, and they lead 15-13 here in the second.
Finally, something's got to go right.
Got the lucky roll there. And now it's Central Michigan's turn to get this offense going. Bushel, bouncer down low to Darrington. Bushel will try a left wing three-pointer, hit back heel, no good, but Morrison grabs the offensive board. Central Michigan, one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country. Here comes a barreling Morrison. Her layup's no good. Darrington gets the offensive rebound, and hold up, we got a couple of players tied up here. And this is gonna
Little movement after the whistle there. It was Herho and Darrington down for the jump ball. Played and whistle dead, probably for a solid second or two. Darrington rips the ball away and stands up, leaving Herho on the ground. So just some extracurriculars there. Unclear if there's going to be any further action from the officials. Looks like it'll just be going the RedHawks' way for a standard jump ball. No further action taken for either Herho or Darrington.
We'll take immediate timeout. Miami leading 15-13, a perfect answer against Central Michigan. We'll be right back. You're listening to Miami Women's Basketball on Red Hawk Radio. Back after the break, Miami ahead 15-13, and the previous play was called a foul on Darrington. So they'll rule this a jump ball, and the RedHawks will have a free throw here. It'll be Tamar Singer.
Singer, a tremendous free throw shooter, 87.5%. One of the best marks on the team.
And here is Singer at the line. First trip for her tonight. And she makes the first one. Coming in is an 88% free throw shooter. So she can really get it at the line. And the second one is good as well. And the RedHawks build this lead up to 4, 17-13 in the second.
It will, in fact, be a technical foul on Darrington there. 2 shots in the ball. Coach Haney asked him what's going on. I think it was clear from our perspective.
So it's Miami basketball ahead by 4. Bouncer down low from Singer, and this will be a kicked ball that will. The ref was pointing to the other side, but he was pointing to the other ref. So it'll stay with the RedHawks. And it'll be Amber Treader on the near sideline. 7:19 left to go. Treader on the inbound has Tamar Singer on the near corner. Ilsa DeFries on the right wing, gives close. Back to Singer. They swing over top of the key. Treader up top, now driving down low is Herho finding a wide open Amber Treader off the rim and in. It's good. And the RedHawks lead 19-13 here in the second. It's an 11-0 run by Miami.
They're really settling in now.
Scored more points than they have in the first quarter. And like so many games this year, we've seen a big adjustment in the second quarter and beyond. Shot clock at 10 here. Up top, Taylor Johnson gives over to Maddie Morrison, and Morrison makes a tough jumper from the free throw line, ends the Miami bleeding. It's 19-15.
It's only the first cameo for Johnson today, only 4 minutes in their last clash against the Broncos of Western Michigan.
Singer dancing left, dancing right, finding a wide open Herho on the far elbow, gets the layup to go, and the RedHawks are rolling offensively. Bouncer on the right side. This is Demetria Pruitt all alone from the elbow, and she makes it. No one was within an aerial coat of her, and she makes an easy jumper. RedHawks work it quickly the other way up, but Court Scalia, they swing it up top, and Herho has it. Left wing three-pointer to Freese, no good. The rebound is hounded by Taylor Johnson, the junior. Back to CMU, moving from right to left. Bushel over to Morrison in the free throw line. This is Johnson. Johnson double teamed, finding Demetria Pruitt nearby at the top of the free throw line. Lost the ball on the baseline. They're going to say it was last touched off of Miami. So this will stay with CMU.
Even just looked like, from the look in Pruitt's eyes, I think she might have known that that was off her. Got a bit of a lucky one from the officials. They all come back around, though, don't they?
We see Turnbull again. Back up top to Bushel in the corner right wing. No good. And the rebound is fought for and won by Taylor Johnson. But we got a foul on the floor. Glenn Box not happy again. And this will stay with CMU again.
It'll be Emily Van Timmeren picking up the foul down there. Last thing Glenn Box needs is another player in foul trouble. That's 2 on Van Timmeren, adding to DeFries' 2, Singer's 2, and 1 each for Treader and Ely.
Guess the good thing, too, for Van Timmeren, she doesn't see a ton of playing time, so you can live with a player like her drawing some early fouls. Up top, this is Turnbull for 3, no good, and Van Timmeren skies in for the board. The RedHawks will cycle it back offensively. Van Timmeren, top of the key on the right side. Nuria Herho gets a nearby screen from Treader. Back up top, Treader, right wing three-pointer, short off the rim. Scalia gets the miss. Back to Herho, taking it to the cup. Lefty layup. No good, and we got a blocking foul against Central Michigan down low. Looked like it might have been off of Bushel. And the RedHawks will be shooting free throws.
That one will go down on Turnbull. Just got in the way of Herho down there. Not sure if the layup would have fallen. even without her down there. That wanted a little too much strength on it. But Herho will still enjoy the trip to the charity stripe. A solid, not the best mark free throw-wise for her. 68.2% on the season, towards the bottom of the team in that statistic, which is a little uncharacteristic considering she's the best three-point shooter on the team.
Now we see Macy Taylor coming in for Van Timmeren. And Herho will shoot 2 from Barcelona. And she sinks the first one.
Be a smaller 5 for Miami now. Singer
it is.
At 5'4", Taylor at 5'7", the tallest player being DeFries at 6'3", but outside of that, not a whole lot of height, and especially with Central Michigan's interior strength.
RedHawks split the trip. Central Michigan basketball behind by 5. Taylor Anderson, defended by Scalia, gives close to Maddie Morrison. Morrison will take it herself, and she sinks the 20-footer, and it is back to a 3-point game. Tamar Singer against Bushel. They work it on the far corner and cycle it on the near wing. In the paint, DeFries falling away. Her shot no good, and the Chippewas get another stop. This is Taylor Anderson bouncing quickly. Anderson puts up a shot falling down. She gets the foul against Singer. That's going to be her 3rd. And RedHawks got to be careful here.
That is bad news for this team. The Israeli floor general, one of the best players on this team, directing traffic whenever she's got the ball. One of the best point guards in the MAC, one of the better ones in the country as well. Averaging an astounding 7.4 assists per game. She'll take a seat now and presumably for the rest of the half.
And here is the free throw. No good from Anderson. Yeah, Tamar Singer 4th in the country in assists. So in terms of ball distributor, she is absolutely one of the best. And the second free throw is good. So they split the trip, and it is 22-20.
Anderson is 68% free throw shooter on the season going into this one.
Around the back here for Nuria Herho as she gets it across the right timeline. DeFries over to Scalia. She'll drive inside, free throw jumper right at her spot. No good for Scalia, but DeFries gets the board back to Planella and back to Scalia. Scalia races to the cup. Righty layup is good off the window and in. And Miami builds this lead to 4, 24-20 in the second.
It's a nice recovery from a team that has struggled with offensive rebounding throughout the season.
On the right elbow, Darrington, ball is tipped. Loose on the floor, picked up by Morrison as she grabs the loose change. Over to Bushel. Bushel bounces up top to Turnball. Shot clock at single digits, defended by Planella. Back to Maddie Morrison, draws the double team on the left wing, and she took one too many dribbles there, and that'll give the RedHawks the basketball right back, forcing turnover number 8 on Central Michigan.
That would have been a turnover anyway. Shot clock was bleeding down to 0, and Morrison didn't even have real possession of it, so that would have been a turnover either way. RedHawks have kept Morrison pretty quiet, though. Only 5 points on 4 shots from the floor, including 2 free throws. So kept her fairly quiet, which is always a recipe for success against this Central Michigan team.
Yeah, and if you're Miami, you can absolutely take that. I mean, Morrison, the best scorer in the MAC, and kind of inefficient shooting so far. Down low, here's Scalia in the paint, puts up a shot. No good, but the foul will be on Lila Turnball as she kind of pushed Amber Scalia on the way up. So now we'll see Amber Scalia back at the line, and she is a very capable free throw shooter, coming in at 78% on the year.
Miami, the second best free throw shooting team in the MAC at 77.2% average.
Scalia's first free throw, a rainbow one, is good. Former St. Thomas Tommies player, transferred in this year. Spent 3 years in Minnesota. The game against UMass, she really struggled shooting-wise. 5 of 16 and 1 of 6 from 3. But she makes both free throws there and kind of redeems herself a little bit, up to 6 points tonight.
Miami's got 7 players at 70% or better from the free throw line, so that's been one of their strengths this year, and it looks to continue.
6-point advantage for the RedHawks as Bushel lost the dribble but picks it up near half court. Gives over to Turnball. On the left side, here's Demetria Pruitt dancing with Treader down the lane. Lefty layup is good. A fancy finish for Demetria Pruitt, and it's back to a 4-point game. Ball in the hands of the RedHawks. Herho on the right side to Gonzalez Planella. Gets a screen from Treader. Planella dances near the free throw line, gives up top. Near Herho on the left wing. Van Timmeren back to Herho. Over to Planella. On the right side, Amber Scalia. Scalia knifing inside, free throw J, no good. And the Chippewas foul the RedHawks on the floor, so it'll stay right here with the RedHawks.
As great ball movement from the RedHawks there, something we really haven't seen all day. Seeing them zip it around the perimeter like that, which is something that they do in games where they dictate the tempo, but that hasn't been the case today, and it's good to see them doing that.
Scalia on the baseline on the first M of Miami. Goes up top to Herho, over to Treader. 2 minutes left to go here in the half. Pass from Treader out of reach, but eventually finds the way from Planella and inside to Ilse de Vries, and the RedHawks lead by 6 here in the second. Pass out in front, out of reach from Darrington, and the RedHawks force another turnover. They have been all over this Central Michigan offense here in the second quarter.
Definitely a quiet quarter for the Chippewas, only putting up 9 compared to Miami's 20 this quarter so far, and still 2 minutes to go.
6-point lead for the RedHawks, their largest lead of the night. And looking to expand it, floater inside Scalia to a wide open Ilse de Vries with Taylor Anderson draped all over. Doesn't matter, and Miami grows ahead by 8.
De Vries, the tallest player on the court right now, and showing it down there in the post.
Darrington defended by de Vries, and de Vries hands in the air, but Darrington drew the foul, and that's going to be 3 on de Vries as well.
More foul trouble. Doesn't matter how good you're playing if you can't play. They've got to get on that, and de Vries will take a seat for Ely. So sacrificing some height to keep some key players from having to sit this one on the bench for the rest of the game.
And I guess the silver lining for the RedHawks is Treader only has 1 and Scalia has none. So you still have some offensive producers in the game, but you lost some really talented rebounders. First free throw from Darrington is no good. The Lexington, Kentucky native comes in 7th in the MAC in points and 9th in the MAC in rebounds.
Games like this is where your depth gets tested, when you're in foul trouble early against a physical team.
And the second free throw is good. So second time she split the trip, and that cuts the Miami lead to 7. 80 seconds left to go. Here's Nuria Herho against Demetria Pruitt at the top of the key. Looking to set this offense up. Gets away from Amber Scalia. Treader has it, gives close to Amber Scalia. Scalia racing inside. Shot was blocked by Demetria Pruitt, and it's back to the maroon and gold. Maddie Morrison moving left. Now going on the opposite side. Ball was stripped, and the RedHawks are off to the races. 2-on-1. Nuria Herho will take it herself, misses the layup, but a hard foul the other way on Darrington as Scalia grabbed the miss.
Great hands there from Herho to poke that ball away. Gets down the other end, couldn't quite convert the layup. Scalia there to clean it up and then draws the foul. She fell down hard there in the paint. Obviously not a full packed out house tonight, but you could hear the echo when Scalia hit the hardwood there. But she looks to be fine. She popped right up, ready to jar these 2 free throws.
RedHawks as a team 6 for 10 tonight, and Scalia makes the first one. Second free throw from her is good, and Miami is ahead by 9. 32-23 here in the second. Under a minute left to play, Miami looking to end this half on a high note. Lila Turnball hounded against by Planella. Looking for a screen from Darrington. She gets it. Finds Maddie Morrison. Morrison, jumper from the left wing. No good. And the rebound goes back to the Chippewas. Back to Taylor Anderson, feed down low. Darrington draped by 2 RedHawks. Eventually finds up top Turnball. Shot clock at 10, chaotic scene of events here for the Chippewas. Layup no good from Anderson, went out of bounds off of her, and Miami will have it with 17.8 left to go. The shot clock is dark.
Kristen Haney not happy. That's an undisciplined possession from her Chippewas with a few misses, especially a wide open 15-foot jump shot missed by Maddie Morrison. You don't see that often. Looked like she was so open. It looked like she had a screen set for her, and Nuria Herho trying to get over it, just tripped. Thankfully, Miami gets the miss there, and now we'll take it down the other end.
RedHawks have it for the final 10 seconds. Shot clock is dark. Here's Tamar Singer on the right wing, gives up top Scalia in the corner. Macy Taylor driving inside, kick out on the far corner at the buzzer. No good from Amber Scalia, and that will end the first half for the RedHawks. They get a great response after only scoring 8 points in the first quarter. They score 24 points in the second, and they limit Central Michigan to shooting 35% from the floor in the first half, and no three-pointers for Central Michigan offensively. So the RedHawks have really limited a good offense in Central Michigan to only 23 points in the first half, and they'll look to keep it going here in the second half in just a little bit.
I discussed that before tip-off, saying that this team couldn't come out flat if they wanted to stay competitive in this game. That is exactly what they did. They came out as flat as a pancake. They fell behind early in that first quarter, only putting up 8 points, but then came right outside, 7 straight points to start the quarter, led them into an early media timeout after the technical foul on Darrington. But they dictated the tempo of that quarter. That's something I alluded to earlier, but that's an extremely important thing for this offense. They need to be able to dictate the tempo, because then that tells them, not only tells them, but it suggests the proper shot selection, which was an issue in the first quarter, now has gotten much better in the second quarter, and they look to continue it in the second half.
Nuria Herho leads the RedHawks in scoring with 10. And meanwhile, for Central Michigan, it is Demetria Pruitt who has 8 for the Chippewas. We'll take a break, and we'll hand it over to Cooper for the Red Hawk Radio halftime show coming up in just a minute. Stay with us here on Red Hawk Radio.
All right, welcome to Red Hawk Radio Halftime. It's your host, Cooper Meneghetti, here reporting live from Millett Hall. We've had a great game so far, 32-23 Red Hawks here at the halftime break. We've seen it just about everything you can in a great game here at Millett Hall. We've got airball chance. If there's one thing you don't want to do, it's be an opposing team and have an airball here in Millett Hall, because these fans are some of the best in the nation at making you hear it. Anyway, the men's team is also here. They're the stars of the show, the 22. The stars are in the house as the 22nd ranked men's team is in attendance. And also for you folks at home, if you've heard a vocal Miami fan, that was probably President Crawford. He's been very animated on the sideline here in Millett Hall. Looking at the statistical breakdown, let's look at the Red Hawk offense. Coming in a team that shoots about 45% from the field. Even though they're in the lead, that field goal percentage has been knocked down to 55%. And when you look from 3, going 2 for 11 is not what you need. Shooting 18.2% from the field. Normally, they're shooting about 34.7% from behind the arc. If we want to look at how it got started, really the story of the game has been the foul trouble for Miami. They've had to rotate players, and you're seeing a lot of players play who don't normally get featured. There's been a wide rotation. Miami's used at least 10 players, but we saw some slow offense as these players who normally get a lot of playing time start to adjust to the game flow. We saw a lot of foul trouble. If we want to look, Tamar Singer has 3 fouls. Ilse de Vries has 3 fouls. Van Timmeren has 2 fouls. But Amber Treader stayed out of foul trouble. Amber Scalia stayed out of foul trouble. And so has Nuria Horho. And offensively, Nuria Horho has been as good as it gets for the RedHawks, shooting 4 for 5 from the field. She's made her 3-point shot. She's 1 for 2 from the free throw line. She's got a total of 10 points here at the half. Amber Scalia has also been great. She's got 8 points in 16 minutes. You look at Treader and Horho, because of their lack of foul trouble, have featured the most amount of time. We've seen 18 minutes from both of them, only 10 minutes from de Vries, and 9 minutes from Singer, which is really uncharacteristic of this RedHawk team. We usually see a bulk of the minutes coming from that starting lineup. That is not the case today. For Central Michigan, Maddie Morrison has been shut down. She's only been limited to 5 points, even though she's played 19 minutes. A great job by Glenn Box's team for shutting down the leading scorer in the MAC. Demetria Pruitt has taken over. She's shooting 4 for 5 from the field. She's got 8. She's been the offensive firepower for Central Michigan. Now, Darrington's got 5. She's 3 for 4 from the free throw line. She's been fouled a lot going inside. She's looked good when it comes to scoring, especially at the free throw line. She's gotten her shots. To start the game, Central Michigan came out in this 2-3 zone. I don't think the RedHawks were expecting that. That kind of slowed down the offense. You couple that with the foul trouble, and that's a recipe for disaster, at least in the first half. The RedHawks went into the second quarter trailing 8-13. Not what you wanted. And they were really able to limit Amber Treader. In the second half, it's kind of been a different story. Amber Treader's kind of picked up the pace, but you're looking at a lot of points from Nuria Horho that we didn't see particularly in that first quarter. The foul trouble still continued for the RedHawks. That will be a thing that Glenn Box needs to adjust to at halftime, as there's under 10 minutes to go here before we get started. That has to be the focus of this RedHawk team. Avoid foul trouble. Ilse de Vries, she's got 7 points. She's been tremendous when she's on the court. 7 points, 4 rebounds in just 10 minutes. The problem is she has 3 fouls. Again, for the RedHawks, keep de Vries out of foul trouble. That's going to take some discipline on her part, but that's got to be the key to really put this game out of reach. If you're the RedHawks, you're up 9, you're feeling relatively comfortable with where the game is at. Obviously, Pruitt and Darrington for Central Michigan have really been the stars. We've seen Anderson get some rebounds. She's the leading rebounder with 6. And she's really feasted when the leading rebounder for Miami, Ilse de Vries, is on the bench. Amber Treader's got 3 rebounds, a respectable number for her at this point in the game. Amber Scalia, she's also contributed 3 rebounds. But if you want to look at the battle of the boards, losing 22-16, I think if you're Glenn Box, you're okay because you understand within the limitations of your offense, you're not going to get a lot of offensive rebounds. So you understand that, yeah, you are probably going to be doing some losing as far as the rebound battle is concerned. You're up 9, which is good. But if you can keep your players disciplined and ready to play, this will be key towards building towards a run in that MAC tournament. Right now, Miami looks comfortable. They were able to right the ship here in the second quarter of the game. As we look, in just 9 minutes of work for Tamar Singer, she leads the team with 4 assists. Tamar Singer doing what Tamar Singer does best, which is distribute the rock. Those 3 player fouls, though, for Tamar Singer have really limited her impact on the game, with just capping her at 2 points and 4 assists. If we want to look, there's not a great facilitator on Central Michigan. They only have 3 assists today so far. We want to look on the defensive category. Nuria Horho, she is having a game. We've already talked about that 10 points. She's got 2 rebounds. She's got an assist. Not to mention, one of the hardest things to do, take away the basketball from your opponents. Nuria Horho has done just that. She's got 2 steals. As the RedHawks have taken away the basketball 5 times, we're seeing players who don't get necessarily a lot of playing time contribute, as Van Timmeren and Gonzalez, who does get more playing time than some of these others, also have steals in their own right. 10 fouls, not what you want to see if you're Glenn Box. Obviously, the second half provides a clean slate. You're able to, obviously, you're going to have to keep DeVries and Singer, as well as Van Timmeren, out of foul trouble. And if they can stay out of there, Miami will keep playing well. Obviously, in this second half, as the team runs out here with a little over 6 to go before we return to action. If the RedHawks want to continue their success, keep your players out of foul trouble. I cannot emphasize that enough. I'm sure you're getting tired of me saying that, but for Miami, that's the key. We're going to see a lot of Maddie Morrison. Central Michigan's going to try to get her going. If you're Glenn Box, you have to be very pleased with your strategy. You've limited her to 5 points. You got to wonder, maybe there's an injury there, because we're seeing an uncharacteristic shooting night for her. She's missing a lot of close baskets. That's not something you expect from Central Michigan's Maddie Morrison. Like we've talked about, Demetria Pruitt has stepped up, but Maddie Morrison making her rebound the basketball as well as become a facilitator is something you want to see if you're Glenn Box, because that means your defense is doing something. We look at the RedHawks, where areas you can improve your shooting from the field. You pride yourself in being a spread offense, being able to spread and get good shots. You need to see threes start to go down. If I'm Glenn Box, I'm trying my best to get the threes, to get the three-point shot engaged for this offense, because once that does, that may be the dagger for the Central Michigan team. Right now you're shooting 2 for 11. If you can be shooting, let's say in this second half, you come out, you shoot 11 more, but you make 5 or 6, you're absolutely thrilled with those extra 12 points you get from where you're sitting right now. So if I'm Miami, my adjustments are be better from behind the arc, be more disciplined, look for better shots. Not just from behind the arc, but from the field. In addition, you got to stay disciplined and grab some boards on defense. If we're going to see this rotation of players, none of the players that Glenn Box has brought off the bench have contributed to the score. However, they've contributed in other ways. You see them getting rebounds and assists and just playing a lot of good defense. And I think that's something valuable. If you can get your bench players to provide good defense, while you let players like Nuria Horho and Amber Scalia take care of the scoring, that is a strategy for success. If I'm Central Michigan, what do I want to do? I want to get the ball in Maddie Morrison's hands more, get her more shots, and allow her to dominate the game like she's done so far in MAC play. But if she isn't able to do that, if Miami really takes her out of this game like they have through a half, Demetria Pruitt and Anna Darrington are going to be the ladies who have to step up. They have so far. We'll see if Central Michigan is able to close the gap here in the second half. We've seen an absolutely great turnout here in Millett Hall. We've got a lot of vocal fans. Millett, one of the toughest environments, I think, in the MAC, because you have so many vocal and funny fans. So I tip my cap here today to the fans inside Millett, and most certainly to the band. They're up and rowdy all game long. There's nothing like college basketball with a good band to get excited and really provide that atmosphere that makes MAC basketball so good. So we'll get you out to the second half here shortly. The clock is ticking down here to just about 2 minutes to go before play resumes. Again, this is Cooper Meneghetti here on RedHawk Radio. You'll hear from me in the postgame. Let's have a great rest of the game, RedHawks. This is Cooper Meneghetti. We'll talk to you at postgame.
Welcome back inside Millett Hall as the Miami RedHawks lead by 9 at the half, 32-23 over Central Michigan. And this Miami team looking to keep this offense on track and get back in the winning column after dropping a heartbreaker against UMass over the weekend. Andrew Relvas alongside Jake Zirolli. Hope you're enjoying tonight's game between two of the MAC's best, between the RedHawks and the Chippewas. Jake, a slow start offensively, you could say for both teams, but especially for Miami in that first quarter. In the second quarter, the RedHawks kick it into a high gear, and that has really benefited them well, leading by 9 at the half and looking to continue this onslaught of offense that we saw in the second.
Absolutely they have. They look a lot more composed. They look a lot more settled in this game, and we all hope that will continue going into the third and fourth quarters here.
Start of the second half. Thanks again for joining us. Andrew Relvas alongside Jake Zirolli. Miami will move it from right to left. Gonzalez Planella slithering inside. Her layup was blocked by Anderson. And Central Michigan starts off the half with an opening stop. Maddie Morrison on the right wing, defended by Planella. Puts up a righty layup in some contact. No problem for her. She shakes it off. And the Chippewas cut the lead to 7. It's 32-25 in the third. Back the other way quickly. Amber Treader on the right wing, kicking in the corner. Planella for 3 on the far side, no good. And the rebound is skied by Taylor Anderson. Anderson defended well against by Tamar Singer. Floater over the top to Darrington. Cycles back behind the free throw line. She's wrapped up, and we've got a jump ball, but the possession arrow will stay with Central Michigan here in the third.
Bit sloppy down low there from Darrington. Looked like Treader might have gotten a hand to it as well to poke it away. Of course, she got the technical foul after a reaction to that last jump ball with Herho.
Turn ball on the inbound has Darrington guarded against by Treader, and we've got a foul on the floor. Looks like this one's going to be on Treader as Darrington mowed down Amber, but her feet weren't set, and that'll be a blocking foul on the red and white.
That will be on Amber, but it won't be Treader. It's on Scalia. Looked like referee saw her impeding the Chippewa down there.
Right wing, or right elbow jumper rather, no good for Morrison, but another offensive rebound for Central Michigan, one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country. Darrington on the near elbow. Draws 2 RedHawks, and Miami forces a steal. Stolen away by Singer. Off to the races. Lefty layup from Herho. No good. The RedHawks can't convert the fast break, and it's back to Central Michigan. Force a big stop, and now trying to get this offense going in the third quarter. Maddie Morrison, step back three-pointer in the face of Singer. No good, and the rebound is snared by Treader. Back to Singer, racing quickly, and Miami works it on the left timeline. Nuria Herho, top of the key, dances left. Now goes to the corner, far side, Singer for 3, no good. That hits back heel, and another defensive board for Maddie Morrison. On the right elbow, this is Anderson, gives down low to Darrington, defended by Herho, draws the double team, doesn't matter. Darrington gets 2 more to go, and Central Michigan cuts Miami's lead to 5 now.
Miami without a point so far in the second half. They cannot come out flat again. They've got to ramp it up. DeFries lays in wait. I'm sure she'll come in very soon.
Singer lost the ball on the baseline, and that'll go back to Central Michigan. So CMU forces Miami's 5th turnover. Just a kind of careless one there from Singer as Miami is on the offensive side of the ball and gives it right back to Central Michigan, who has momentum here in the third quarter.
DeFries will re-enter, taking the place of Gonzalez, so a full starting lineup back for the RedHawks.
7:30 left to go here in the second half. Maddie Morrison, step back, elbow jumper on the far side. That's off, but Darrington grabs the miss. Another offensive board, puts up a shot, no good. Grabs the miss there and draws some contact from the RedHawks, and that'll be another, or no, rather they'll push it the other way. Jump ball on Miami's side, and it goes back to the RedHawks.
You can say what you want about the offensive prowess of this game. The hustle is something that has never been doubted. Both teams working hard out there.
Miami searching for their first points here in the half. Floater over the top from Tretter inside to DeFries. Misses the lefty layup. She's automatic there, but she missed an easy one, and it goes back to Central Michigan. Kept the RedHawks quiet offensively in this third, and Darrington lost the ball on the baseline, but it'll stay with the Chippewas. This quarter very similar to the first for the RedHawks, just a really slow offensive start. And like you mentioned, Jake, the RedHawks can't afford it against a really solid Central Michigan team. Morrison dances at the top of the key, gives on the right side to Bruschel. Darrington, skyhook layup, no good. Rather, that was Pruitt. Here is Darrington. Her shot was offline. Morrison grabbed the miss. Ball is loose in front of the Central Michigan sideline, and it looks like it's going to stay with the maroon and gold again.
Not for long, though. There's 1 second on the shot clock, so it might even serve them better to let that go out and to just regroup on the other end. But now, we'll see what they cook up here with a second to shoot.
Pruitt finds Bruschel, and her shot from the far wing was offline, and that'll be a shot clock turnover. So nicely done by the RedHawks. Another long possession comes up empty for Central Michigan. Back to Miami, searching for their first points here in the second half. It's Tamar Singer, defended by Rylan Bushel. Bouncer over to Tretter inside the three-point line. Back up top, Herho over to Scalia on the right wing. Swings in the corner. Singer for three. It's good. Tamar Singer gets some much-needed offense for Miami here in the second half, and the RedHawks lead 35-27 in the third.
Not the most prolific three-point shooter, only 31% in the season, but she cashes that one in.
Battle for the board, won by Herho, and the RedHawks have a 2-on-2. Scalia working quickly, finds Singer, right wing three-pointer, rolled off, no good. And we got a foul. This will stay with the RedHawks. Foul on Aliyah Sarai Darrington.
It's her second foul, of course, the first being at technical after the tie-up with Herho. Darrington had 14 in their last contest with Western Michigan, averaging 15, 7, and 1 on almost 59% shooting.
Scalia up top, over to Singer, back to Ely, and they swing it over to Scalia on the far corner. Racing down low, Singer, bouncer to a wide open Ilsa DeFries. The RedHawks convert the play off the rim and in, and Miami's lead is up to 10, their biggest of the night. Here come the RedHawks, a really strong third quarter team as Morrison put up a shot inside the free throw line, and she will head to the free throw line. Foul on Amber Scalia. Second on her, and Morrison will make the trip to the stripe.
A very quiet night for her so far, just 3 of 10 from the floor.
And here is Morrison, one of the best scorers in the country. She makes the first one, comes in as an 84% free throw shooter. Last year she set the freshman program record for points for the Chippewas at 5'11". Second one is good for her, and the lead is cut to 8 for Miami.
She's still having a quiet night, and yet is the leading scorer for this Chippewa team. So it just tells you how offense is at a premium in this game.
Ilsa DeFries up top, gives close to Amber Scalia. On the right wing, Singer, straightaway three-pointer. Scalia rolled off, no good, and it's back to the Chippewas. Racing the other way, bouncer down low, inside Darrington, and we've got a travel. Nice draw up there by DeFries as she forces the turnover. Head coach Christian Haney not happy about that. Getting some words by our head referee there.
Didn't even look like Darrington was questioning it that much. Haney must have seen something we didn't. Either way, it'll go down. Haney's got to be careful.
13th turnover on Central Michigan. So this Miami defense has put CMU in a torture chamber here. Back to Singer up top. Looking for a screen from Ely, won't get it. Gives close. Nuria Herho defended by Turnball, kick in the corner, driving down low. In the corner again, this is Ely. Shot clock at 7-4, the RedHawks. Tamar Singer going to take a deep three-pointer from the right wing. No good, and it's back to the racing Chippewas. Down the other way, Taylor Anderson, lefty layup, no good. Singer grabs the board, and she's racing the other way. Drawing a trail of Chippewas, but she gives close to Ely. Ely looking to pass it, but she just lost it. And it goes back to Central Michigan.
Looked like it just slipped out of her hands there.
Yeah, an uncharacteristic turnover there. 4 minutes left to go. Righty layup is offline, but it goes back to Darrington. Inside, layup no good again. The RedHawks have kept the Central Michigan offense really quiet. They're shooting 2 for 13 in the third quarter. As a team, only 28%. This Miami defense has been on full effect, especially in this third quarter. See if this RedHawk offense can continue succeeding. Singer turns the ball over, intercepted mid-air by Taylor Anderson, looking like a cornerback. Passes down low inside to Darrington, but she lost the basketball. And with that, we will take a media timeout and a break as the pace has really picked up inside Millett Hall here. The score is 37-29, a low-scoring affair, but defense has been really on display tonight. We'll be back in a moment here inside Millett Hall. .334 left to go here inside Millett Hall in the third quarter. Both teams shooting a combined 4 of 23 in this third, but the RedHawks leading by 8, 37-29. Ilsa DeFries has it for the RedHawks on the far elbow. In a trap, bounces over to Singer. Actually finds Treader as she drove inside, barreled down low, put up a shot, and she will head to the charity stripe.
As we said, not a lot of action in this third quarter so far. Almost feels like a boxing match where neither fighter is throwing a punch, just sort of waiting for that one moment to make that one big dagger punch. You just wonder which team is it going to come from.
Feels like you would favor the RedHawks as Treader makes the first one. I mean, really for Central Michigan, they've got 2 key scorers, Darrington and Morrison, but everybody else has kind of relied on their defensive physicality. Treader makes them both, and the RedHawks lead 39-29. But, I mean, Miami, they've got 4 to 5 players who can really turn it on offensively at any moment. Maddie Morrison has it. 2 RedHawks are on her. Morrison put up a shot as Herho and Treader were in her grill near the free throw line. And Morrison will go to the line. That is the 3rd team foul on the RedHawks here in this 3rd quarter.
Thankfully, though, that is on Herho, not Singer, because were it on Singer, that would have been 4 for the Israeli sophomore. So Herho will take that one, just her first personal foul, as Van Timmeren takes a seat for DeFries.
And here's Maddie Morrison, 9 points tonight, 3 of 10 shooting. She makes the first one from Canton, Michigan. Last year, 17 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist. She has boosted all of those numbers. And she scored 25 points in her most recent game against Western Michigan. She makes them both, and the lead is 8-4 Miami. 39-31, 3 minutes left to go here in the 3rd. Tamar Singer controlling the offense and orchestrating this RedHawks group. Bounces up top, Ilse DeFries. Driving down low, kick in the corner. Singer, bouncer on the elbow, back to DeFries. Defended by Pruitt. Searching for some open space and some pump fakes, puts up a righty layup over the top of Pruitt and in. DeFries wins the battle, and the RedHawks extend their lead to 10. It's 41-31 in the 3rd. Down the lane, dancing is Pruitt, back the other way. Both sides going back and forth, and it's back to an 8-point game. Bouncer inside, here's Treader off the rim and in. Counted and 1 for Amber Treader. The junior continues to shine, and the RedHawks will go to the line again.
End-to-end play here. A nice layup from DeFries on one end, then Pruitt with one of the better takes we've seen all game, and Treader down low. No style, just hard work down there in the post. Wins that tough battle and will unfortunately not convert the 3-point play as the free throw rims out.
Treader up to 9 points and 5 rebounds. Free throw would have given her 10 points. 10-point lead for the RedHawks again. 2 minutes left to go. Rylan Bushel, the freshman, bounces down low to Darrington on the far elbow. Defended by DeFries, draws the double from Treader. Darrington inside, barreling down low, put up a shot, and that'll be a foul on either DeFries or Treader. That'll be Treader, or rather DeFries, and that'll be her 4th.
Another one where you hope they give the foul to the other player, but DeFries with 4 and will now take a seat. Ashton Ely re-enters. Ely enjoying a good amount of minutes today. Already played 6, which is already the most she's played in any game this season. So more minutes in store for her, surely, due to all this foul trouble.
And Darrington at the line, misses the first one. I mean, as a team, Central Michigan shooting 69%. Darrington, 66% free throw shooter. So not the greatest, but for Darrington, just wants to split the trip, and she does just that. 9-point advantage for the RedHawks. Singer turning on the Jets, kick in the corner, Scalia, right corner 3, and she drills it. Another 3-pointer for the RedHawks, their 4th of the game, and the lead is up to 12 for Miami. Bouncer down low off the hands of Darrington from Bushel, and that's another turnover on Central Michigan. So it's felt like the turnovers have been pretty even, but in reality, Central Michigan having 9 more turnovers than Miami, and another tough one right there for the Chippewas.
And they've certainly come at some inopportune times, such as that one after that 3 from Scalia.
Treader over to Herho on the wing. Up top, straightaway 3-pointer for Scalia, no good. And the rebound is skied by Bushel. 80 seconds left to go here in the 3rd quarter with the RedHawks leading by 12. Jada Mosley, floater over the top inside to Darrington. 3 RedHawks are there. Darrington, wild layup over the top, but in comes the skying Morrison, puts up a shot off the rim and in, count it and one. And Morrison gets this offense going a little bit. She'll have the chance for an and one coming up. And that foul as well as on Tamar Singer. So that's kind of the worst case scenario for Miami. Both Singer and DeFries in some real foul trouble.
And while they may be dictating the tempo of this game, there is plenty of basketball left to be played, and having 2 of your best players on their last legs, it's not what you want to see at all.
And here is Morrison. She makes the free throw. Lead is back to a 9-point game. Morrison leads the game in points with 14. 6 of 7 from the free throw line as well. Back to the RedHawks as Tamar Singer dances down the lane, righty layup. A Euro one, no good. Mosley grabs the miss, and it's back to the Chippewas, who can really dig into this Miami lead here. Floater over the top from Bushel. Darrington snares it, but it's stolen away by Singer. Off to the races, here comes the RedHawks. Singer over to Scalia. Kick on the right side to Ely, and back up top to Herho. RedHawks will slow it down a little bit. Scalia at the free throw line, puts on the brakes, gives over to Singer in the corner. Herho, near corner 3, and it's good. The 3rd three-pointer of the quarter for the RedHawks, and they build this lead back to 12 in the 3rd.
And Nuria Herho's jump shot, it's just so pure. Really, really nice to watch. Makes sense. She's the best 3-point shooter on this team.
7 seconds left to go. Last possession of the quarter for the Chippewas. Down low, Darrington in the paint. Layup no good. At the last second, a potential layup to get some points back from Pruitt was offline, and that will end our 3rd quarter. Another good quarter for the RedHawks after a slow start. They win the quarter 17-14, and they lead 49-37, but job is not finished yet. RedHawks are in foul trouble, and they're looking to put this one away against Central Michigan. Stay with us for a fun finish in the 4th quarter between Miami and Central Michigan here on Red Hawk Radio. Fourth quarter all set to go with Miami leading 49-37 against the Central Michigan Chippewas. The RedHawks searching for their 12th MAC win on the season, and this is shaping up to be a fun finish here inside Millett Hall. Central Michigan moving from left to right as Anderson turned it over, stolen away by Scalia, and the RedHawks get an opening stop. Andrew Relvas alongside Jake Zirolli. Hope you're enjoying tonight's MAC contest between two of the best teams in the conference. Zirolli has it on the right wing, dances left, gives over Amber Scalia, top of the key, looking for a screen from Treader, won't take it, gives close to Nuria Herho, defended by Marson. Inside here is Taylor falling down, her layup won't go, and it's back to Darrington. Chippewas trailing by 12. This offense is one of the best in the MAC, but those RedHawks defenses really stifled them. Down the other way, Darrington gets the layup to go, and the lead is cut to 10 for Central Michigan. Opening points of the quarter for the Chippewas. Herho over to Treader, back to Herho. On the left wing, gets a screen at the free throw line from Treader. Herho rifles over to Ely. And back on the right side, Taylor, right wing three-pointer. Herho on the close side, hit back heel, no good, and the rebound is snared by Taylor Anderson. Back-to-back stops by the Central Michigan offense. Up top. Go down low to Darrington, draws the triple team. In is a wide open Bushel. Her layup's no good, and the ball is loose on the baseline, and it's back to Treader, and the RedHawks get a stop. 8 minutes left to go, a 10-point lead for Miami, and we've got a timeout on the floor that'll take us to a break. 8:13 left to go. The score is 49-39 here in the fourth. We'll see if the RedHawks can finish this one out in the win column. Welcome back from our media timeout. 8:13 left to go with Miami leading 49-39 here in the fourth quarter. The RedHawks trying to improve to 21-5 and avenge a tough loss against the UMass Minutewomen on Saturday. They're also trying to extinguish a 5-game losing streak to the Central Michigan Chippewas here inside Millett Hall. Miami basketball working from right to left, and it is Nuria Herho on the right wing, gives over Scalia on the opposite wing. She'll take it, sprint inside, kick out in the corner. Herho for three, it's good. Nuria Herho drills a three-pointer, her third of the night, and the RedHawks extend their lead to 13.
Sharpshooting Spaniard with yet another. She's had a great night so far with 16 points, leading all scorers.
Lila Turnbull bounces down low to Marson on the elbow, and this draws the foul on Nuria Herho. Put up a shot, and Morrison will go to the free throw line. Morrison tonight, 14 points, but inefficient shooting numbers, 4 of 11. She has, however, been efficient at the free throw line, 6 for 7.
Very solid mark for her there.
Yeah, the Chippewas, they're going to have to rely on a lot more of her if they want to escape Millett Hall with a win and extend this winning streak against Miami. Maddie Morrison, the 5'8" sophomore, at the line for the 4th time tonight, and she misses the first one. Second team All-MAC selection last year and the MAC Freshman of the Year as well. Here is the second free throw to split the trip, and she does just that. So Miami's lead is shrunk a little bit to 12 points. It's 52-40 in the 4th. Ilsa DeFries on the bench for the RedHawks along with Tamar Singer. Nuria Herho has it. Gives over Scally on the left wing. Quick pass inside to a wide open Amber Treader off the window and in, and the RedHawks build the lead to 14. Planella intercepts it, and Miami has another offensive possession. Quick pass inside from Scalia. Taylor reverse layup, no good. Blocked out of bounds by the Chippewas. Looked like that might have been Pruitt, and it'll, however, stay with the RedHawks, but a great heads-up play there by Gonzalez Planella in the 4th quarter. On the baseline, pass was tipped by Morrison. Pass is intended there for Herho, and it'll stay with the RedHawks.
Just a lapse in concentration down the other end that allowed Gonzalez to find that steal, looking to get it back there. Morrison, good hustle, but it will stay here with Miami.
RedHawks working around top of the key. Amber Scalia, 20-footer, and this will be an offensive foul against Miami.
Be Treader's second foul. That's 4 RedHawks with 2 fouls, those being Scalia, Treader, Herho, and Van Timmeren.
Gonzalez Planella forces another steal, back-to-back steals, and the RedHawks get rewarded with another offensive possession. See if they can take advantage of the opportunities being handed to them. Gonzalez Planella on the right wing. Up top, Scalia, defended by Turnbull. Scalia will take it herself, and she draws the foul on the floor near the near elbow, and that stops the clock at 6:35 left in the game.
That'll be Turnbull's 3rd, so Chippewas done well to stay out of foul trouble, but Turnbull now foraying into that territory with her 3rd infraction.
Scalia on the baseline, first Emma Miami, goes close to Amber Treader. Backing down Johnson, Treader lost the ball, loose on the baseline, and this will stay with Miami off of Taylor Anderson. This has been a very long Miami possession, and they are looking to end it with points. Shot clock at 10 here for Treader. Gives close to Scalia. Back to Scalia, dancing down the lane, lefty layup, no good, but a foul will be called. This one looked like it might be on Brushel. And it will be. So Bushel will be called the foul on that one, and Scalia will go to the line again.
Bushel, the freshman guard from Belleville, Missouri, had 7 points against Western Michigan.
And Scalia makes the first free throw. Scalia 5 for 5 from the line. inefficient shooting night. However, like last game, she's 3 for 13 and 1 of 6 from the three-point line, and it's good. So Miami builds this lead up to 16.
They're 12 of 17 from the line today as a team. That's good for 70.6%, so a bit below the average.
16-point lead for the Chippewas. A couple more stops and scores, and it feels like this one might be out of reach, just the way that Central Michigan offensively has been playing. Shot no good. The rebound back to Treader, and down the other way comes Macy Taylor. Under 6 minutes left to play, a 16-point lead for the RedHawks. Herho bounces close to Treader, gives nearby to Scalia. Scalia through the trees, puts up a shot falling down, no good, but she'll go back to the line like the last possession, and she will really look to squeeze CMU out of this one.
Through the trees, I like that line. Either way, you're absolutely right. This deficit is intimidating. Central Michigan staring down the barrel of a loss here. They are going to need to turn things around and do it quickly if they are going to find themselves in this game. The clock hits 3, 2, even 1 minute.
Scalia at the stripe makes the first one. The RedHawks are on a 7-1 run in the last 3.5 minutes. Central Michigan tonight, 30% from the floor. They haven't made a three-pointer, and just 14 of 19 from the free throw line. So they have left a lot of points off the board. This offense has to get into a high gear if they want to win this one. Inside and one for Maddie Morrison. And she'll go back to the line again. Morrison really the only one doing the heavy lifting offensively. And she will head to the stripe for a crucial free throw.
Two other Chippewas in double figures, those being Pruitt and Darrington, but they're both with 10. After them, and Morrison 17. The only other scores, are Anderson and Mosley with 3 and 2.
And one chance for Morrison, no good, but in comes Darrington. She grabs the loose change off the rim and in. The Chippewas get a 4-point play, and it's a 14-point advantage for the RedHawks. That's the worst case scenario, but you can redeem yourself with some points on this offensive trip. Treader bouncer, Herho in the corner. Taylor for 3, hit on the right rim, no good, and Morrison snares another rebound, her 6th of the night. Morrison draws the double team. She'll take it herself. Righty layup blocked by Herho. Second chance opportunity blocked by the rim and out of bounds off of her. So she goes 0 for 2 on that trip offensively, and we've reached a media timeout. 5 minutes left to go. Miami ahead by 14 and looking to end this one on a high note and get the finishing touches in a big MAC win against Central Michigan. We'll be back in a moment here on Red Hawk Radio. 5 minutes left with Miami ahead by 14. Andrew Relvas alongside Jake Zirolli, and Jake, the RedHawks up by a good amount, but what is it going to take for them to close this one out?
They've got to stay composed on the offensive end. Central Michigan's going to try and really get up in them, try to draw offensive fouls and get easy steals. You can see here with the press. So they've got to stay composed above all else.
Under 5 left to play. It's Tamar Singer, hounded against by Rylan Bushel. Hands close to Scalia. Over to Herho, back to Singer. Down low, this is Treader in the low block. Defended by Darrington, and the RedHawks will reset up top. Shot clock at 10. Scalia, right corner three-pointer. It's good. Scalia buries it, her second three-pointer of the night, up to 18 points, and the RedHawks lead 61-44 in the fourth.
I know I said they got to be composed, but when you can do that, not a whole lot else you need.
Morrison down low. This is Anderson, and shot was blocked. They're going to call a foul on DeFries, and DeFries has fouled out for the time being.
I'm not sure what else the officials want her to do there. Obviously, at 6'3", she's taller than anybody else in the court right now, but her hands were straight up, all ball on that shot, and that will send her to the bench. Oh, there's a whistle.
Looks like all three officials are going to have a conversation. For the time being, though, DeFries is out, and I think that's official. So DeFries is going to be out, and it'll be Demetria Pruitt at the free throw line, and in comes Macy Taylor. So tough to lose DeFries, but I mean, 4 and 10 left to go. Still not the worst thing in the world. Not a ton of time left. And Pruitt makes the first one. So tough to lose one of your best forwards, and the RedHawks will have to go on without her. Pruitt splits the trip, but in comes Darrington to clean up with the layup, and it's 61-47. 14-point advantage for the RedHawks. 4 minutes left. Herho on the left wing. Goes over to Singer. Near half court. Looking for a screen up top. Gives over Scalia, left wing three-pointer. Short everything. But the rebound goes back to Taylor. RedHawks reset offensively and recycle the possession. Going left, going right is Singer. Over to Treader. Back to Singer up top. And Miami will hold it here. Shot clock at 6. Going up top. This is going to be a deep three-pointer for Taylor. Hands off to Scalia. That'll be a shot clock turnover on Taylor. Assistant coach Ben Wiersba letting Taylor hear it. Not really sure why she passed it off to Scalia with a second left on the shot clock. And it'll be Central Michigan basketball.
It's too chaotic of a possession. They have to settle in and be composed.
Morrison lost the basketball. Jump ball is signaled, and it'll go back to the RedHawks. So a great heads-up play there by Amber Treader, or excuse me, Nuria Herho. And Miami forces turnover number 20 on CMU.
Stifling defense from the RedHawks all game today.
14-point lead for Miami. This is Scalia. Puts on the brakes. Fakes the pass and gives over Herho. Back to Singer on the left pillar of Miami. Near half court. Scalia to Herho. Both playing hot potato. Herho trying to dance away with Taylor Anderson. Shot clock winding down. Nice pressure here by Central Michigan. Doesn't matter as Singer Urals down the lane, breaks the coverage. Righty layup is off the rim and in. And the RedHawks lead 63-47 in the fourth.
Great take there from Singer. Only 7 points, but 8 assists on the day for her.
She has been busy in all facets. And we've got a foul on the floor as Taylor Anderson put up a shot. This is going to be personal foul number 20 on Miami and foul number 1 on Macy Taylor. 6 more fouls have been called on Miami. And see Taylor Anderson at the line. Anderson only 4 points now as she made the first one. Really has struggled from the floor today. 1 for 8.
yet has 14 rebounds. So she's certainly doing her part.
The second one is good. And on that point, Anderson, one of the best rebounders in the MAC, third in the conference. Full court pass from Singer, intercepted by Darrington, and Darrington will put on the brakes. And that will take us into a timeout called by Christian Haney of CMU. That stops the clock at 2:19, and that'll take us to likely our final break of the game. We'll be right back in a moment here from Millett Hall. The RedHawks ahead, 63-49 left to go. .219 left to go, and Miami up by 14. Putting on the finishing touches in what will be a big-time win if they can hold on. I think it's very likely that they will. Rylan Bushel in the lane. Shot was blocked by Treader, and the RedHawks have it, working from right to left. Singer controlling it, looking for the final kill shot in this game against Central Michigan. Defended pretty heavily by Bushel in the lanes near half court. Shot clock at 10, and it means go time for the RedHawks. Singer on the right wing, passes down low. A beautiful dime to a moving Treader off the window and in. The RedHawks build this lead up to 16 with 1:40 left to go. And we've got an offensive foul the other way as Darrington mowed down Scalia, so it goes right back to the RedHawks.
Completely out of control there from Darrington. Scalia went right down. I didn't even think there was much acting in that. And Darrington, Scalia is a taller guard at 5'9", but Darrington still at 6'2", went barreling right into her. Anybody's going to go down for that. She actually, it looked like also Morrison then fell on her after that. So Scalia took a bit of a beating in that 5-second period, but hopped right up and was hype after it 'cause she knew that might have been it right there. Now 1 minute and 40 seconds, Miami with the ball, up 16. That might be all over but the crying now for Central Michigan.
Yeah, not much time left to really make an impact in this one. The RedHawks are essentially under 2 minutes away from improving to 21-5 and getting a nice win against a good MAC team in Central Michigan. Came in as the number 4 team in the conference earlier tonight. And this could also potentially be a MAC tournament preview, depending on where the cards fall. I mean, the RedHawks, really, they've had an excellent year in the MAC. They've already beaten Ball State. They've already beaten UMass, as those two have split. They're going to end up beating Central Michigan. They beat Ohio by 20, and the rest are all behind them. So the RedHawks are certainly well equipped to play in the MAC tournament coming up in about a month. And this was honestly a really competitive matchup at the start, but the RedHawks really kind of pulled away in that second half.
They sure did, and they still see they will get the Cardinals of Ball State coming here on Saturday, this coming Saturday, February 21st. So that will probably be one of, if not the MAC game of the year. Of course, Miami taking care of business and then some in Muncie, Indiana, beating the Cardinals by 20. But we'll see what happens in the reverse.
It's good to see the RedHawks playing another top team. Can't say the same for the men's team, who isn't playing Akron. They only played them once, so it's good to see them have a couple of games. Scalia was in a trap, and the RedHawks will call a timeout. And with that, we will take our final break here inside Millett Hall. The score is 65-49. We'll be right back here inside Millett Hall with the RedHawks rolling. After the timeout, the RedHawks have it, and they maneuver out of a trap. Tamar Singer has it, draws the double team. This is going to be a full pressure effort for CMU the rest of the way out. Gonzalez Pinella gives over to Singer. Singer down the lane, gives up top. Her whole left wing three-pointer short, but that'll be a shot clock turnover, and honestly a good possession for the RedHawks as that knocks off about 20 seconds or so, and CMU will have it with 70 seconds left to go, trailing by 16.
It definitely is chew clock time for the RedHawks as CMU is going to look for quick possessions, ending in hopefully made shots, but we'll see what happens. They got a taller lineup in there now.
Pruitt over to Bushel, back over Turnball. Shot clock at 15 here. Johnson at the free throw line up top to Turnball. Back to Bushel inside. Nice dime to a wide open Pruitt off the window and in. 65-51. RedHawks have possession here. 45 seconds left to go. Miami controlling. And now Coach Box will take another timeout. So it stops the clock at 38 and a half, 22 seconds left to go. And we'll keep it here for the final about 40 seconds or so in the game. Preview for what's to come for the Miami women's team. They've got a massive matchup coming up on Saturday against Ball State. This will be on Red Hawk Radio as well, so we hope you join us then. 1 o'clock start on Saturday. Also got hockey coming up this weekend against the Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs in a crucial NCHC series on Friday and Saturday. And of course, the main event, the Miami RedHawks will return home to take on the Bowling Green Falcons on the men's side. So we've got a busy week of action here on Red Hawk Radio, and we hope you join us for all those events coming up. Out of the timeout, the RedHawks have it. It's Herho up to Treader in the corner. Singer holding it. No need to shoot it. The RedHawks are likely going to force a shot clock turnover. Back over Scalia. Hands close to Gonzalez Planella. Planella puts up a righty layup. No good. Does not get the friendly roll, but it's back to Singer. And they're just going to rule this a shot clock turnover. So it's off of the RedHawks. 14.4 left to go. That's going to do it here inside Millett Hall with the final possession going in the hands of CMU. And what a win for Miami over Central Michigan. Wasn't the prettiest, but they get it done in the friendly confines as they stay undefeated here inside Millett Hall. Gonzalez Planella almost got another steal there. And ball stays in the court of Bushel. Takes a couple of bounces. Hard fall there from Bushel. Kind of feeling her head a little bit as she took a hard fall right in front of us. 5.5, 5.6 left to go. That foul will be on Gonzalez Planella.
I mean, she plays right down to the end. Up 14 with 14 seconds left. Full court press. Like we said, almost got a steal. She really does give a ton of hustle. You know, she's not the biggest offensive contributor, but in her 19 minutes, she's played nothing but lockdown defense with an assist and 3 steals to her name, with just 1 foul as well coming right there.
Ryland Bushel makes the first one. The second one on the way is good, and the score is 65-53 Miami. 5 seconds left to go. Ball's in the hands of Mio Sacano. As the clock hits triple zeros, that's going to do it inside Millett Hall. Miami wins 65-53 over Central Michigan. The RedHawks get a nice bounce-back win against the Chippewas. They win by 12 points in a game that was sloppy at times, but the RedHawks were able to take advantage of a slow start on Central Michigan's side offensively, and the RedHawks really made it count with Amber Scalia leading the scoring with 18 points and making 8 of 8 free throws. She was really the key contributor among many others for the RedHawks tonight.
It was not the most glamorous night for either side, but Miami coming out with a win. In tough games like this is what you're going to expect in the MAC slate, especially against the teams in the upper echelon, such as Ball State, Central Michigan, UMass. Of course, the last tough game they played was against UMass in Amherst. They also just could not quite get that one done, but a different story here today. They were able to limit Central Michigan's output offensively, holding them to just 53 points, which is even below Miami's best in the MAC points per game allowed mark, which was 58.3 going into this contest. So a really solid performance here on the defensive side. Certainly things to go over that I'm sure Glenn Box will impress upon his players during this week of practice, but a really, really solid defensive performance and something that is very encouraging from a fan perspective, knowing that if the offense isn't firing on all cylinders, the defense can come out and really step up, which is exactly what they did today.
The RedHawks forced 21 CMU turnovers. That was a huge point in Miami's win. And the RedHawks saw 4 players in double figures with Scalia, Treader, Herho, and DeFries all scoring at double figures. The top scorer for Central Michigan was Maddie Morrison, who had 17 points, but an inefficient night, 5 of 15 from the floor, and she struggled. The RedHawks improved to 21-5, and they improved to 12-1 in the MAC, so they stay at the top with Ball State, a huge one coming up on Saturday here inside Oxford. That game will tip off at 1 o'clock against the Ball State Cardinals in one of the best MAC matchups on the year. And meanwhile, for Central Michigan, they fall to 16-9, 10-4 in the MAC, and they will take on the UMass Minute Women in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. That will be a home game for the Chippewas coming up on Saturday at 1 o'clock. Well, that's going to do it for me and Jake. The RedHawks enjoy themselves here in the friendly confines. They pick up a huge win against Central Michigan by winning 65-53, and now we will turn it over to Cooper for our RedHawk Radio post-game show. With that being said, my name is Andrew Relvas, joined alongside Jake Zirolli. So long from Millett Hall. Stay tuned here on Side RedHawk Radio.
All right, welcome to RedHawk Radio post-game here from Millett Hall. 65-53 RedHawks. That's your final score coming from Millett Hall. A look around the stats here tonight. Amber Scalia, your leading scorer for the RedHawks. 18 points, really got it done from the free throw line, going 8 for 8. Scalia is so good, particularly in those clutch situations from the free throw line. Come March, that will be a big part of this Miami game if you can keep her consistent from the free throw line. You look around, other scorers on the stat sheet. Naria Herho had a fantastic game, scoring 16 points. She grabbed 4 rebounds, got 4 steals, and had 2 assists. Really an all-around great game for her. Amber Treader had 13 points and a team-high 8 rebounds, hitting her average in the rebounding category. She had another block and 3 fouls as she, Herho, and Scalia played a bulk of the minutes for the RedHawks. The reason being, you had Ilsta Vries and Tamar Singer in foul trouble. Tamar Singer, though, able to stay at 4 fouls. She had 7 points and a team-high 9 assists, doing what she does best, which is distribute the basketball. Ilsta Vries unfortunately fouled out, but not after 11 points and 4 rebounds. DeVries fouled out on a very controversial foul there later. Looked like she had 2 hands up to me, but that's ultimately up to the discretion of the referee. So, Scalia, 18, Singer, 7, Treader, 13, Herho, 16, and 11 for DeVries. No other RedHawks scored, but we saw a couple assists, steals, and fouls from other RedHawks getting critical minutes. If we look over at Central Michigan, Maddie Morrison turned it on in the second half. She got to 17 points, but an inefficient night from the field, going 5 for 15. Really a bulk of her scoring came from going 7 for 10 at the free throw line. So a good job of the Miami defense of limiting her impact on the game, not allowing her to get to her average. Demetria Pruitt really showed up today for Central Michigan, scoring 13. Anderson, the leader in rebounds with 14. Taylor Anderson really dominated the boards for Central Michigan. She had the most rebounds of anyone in this contest as the Chippewas out-rebounded the RedHawks 47-30, but that was not indicative of the score here today. The RedHawks win comfortably here in Millett Hall. Darrington had 14 points for Central Michigan and 9 rebounds. A great performance for her, but that was just not enough. Let's take a look around the Mid-American Conference at other scores today. We look at the 2 live games going on right now in the 4th quarter. Kent State is up on NIU. Just 10 seconds to go there. Obviously, Miami gets the win today. And then in other scores, around women's basketball, we saw Akron take on Ohio. Toledo played UMass. Ball State got a big win to go to 88, and a big win over Buffalo with the final score 88-55. Obviously, the RedHawks are chasing down Ball State, but Miami has a game in hand. Ball State's played one more game than the RedHawks have, but we will see this weekend, this Saturday, February 21st, a huge clash of huge stakes here for the #1 seed in the MAC, more than likely, as the Ball State Cardinals roll into Oxford. Very much that 1 seed is on the line. We'll see what the Cardinals do in Oxford. That's your next game for the women's team, 1 p.m. tip-off from Millett Hall. As we look, the next basketball game here, though, will be Bowling Green for the men's team. They'll tip off on February 20th at 8:30. Tune in on RedHawk Radio. We've also got a hockey series against Minnesota Duluth, 2 games, Friday, Saturday. So join us for that here on RedHawk Radio. That will be it from Millett Hall. This is Cooper Meneghetti signing off. Have a great day, folks.